What up? Welcome back to the pod. Y'all are just checking in with your two favorite people on the internet or over the loudspeaker. It is everybody's favorite uncle, yours truly, Uncle Don Don. I am joined by my virtual half, my good brother Paul, aka.
Mr. Qualified, how y'all doing? Good afternoon.
Yeah, I think last time y'all saw us or heard from us, I was good and in my Hugh Hefner vibe. So I now have going back to I should say my original aesthetic, track coach Don Don. So we are.
This is definitely what events you ran. What events you was running.
So all of them. No, you know, somebody asked me that the other day, and I was a track country. Nope. Let's try that one again. Somebody asked me the other day. I was a cross country kid and not track and field.
That's right.
However, right, they tried to get me. I'm endurance, not speed. But they tried to get me to do hurdles. And if you know me, if you know anything about me, if you can guess anything about me, Donald and hurdles, they don't go together. I'm the person that still trips on that last step when you're going up and down. You know,
Yeah.
don't put no hurdle in front of me. That's an obstacle that will get the best of me. Okay.
I'm weak. The quarter zip to me is the giveaway, but it's the thin quarter zip, right? Like the thin quarter zips are for everything athletic. Like you see basketball coaches wear it. If you coach something athletic, that's the thin quarter zip. The thick quarter zips, like that's professional. Like that's what the trend that speaks to the thick quarter zips because that just means you got a different level of I don't know, confidence to you, if you will. But I'm with you. I'm speed over endurance. I feel like kind of losing the speed now, so I'm trying to transfer to endurance. But try to evolve. But I feel it. I get it.
When we were recording this yesterday, I went to go see The Wiz live in
Okay.
Chicago. 10 out of 10.
I'm sure.
10 out of 10. It was funny. It was visually appealing. They sang down like it was yeah, it was the blackest experience that you would ever want to have in the most elevated and like artistic and luxurious kind of way. So yeah, shout out to all the people that were in the cast and everything else for the We Is Live. But yeah, I say we, it was a family outing, but this was the first like group in-law outing that we've had.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, we took up a whole row. Yes.
No, it'd be like that. That's how it was this past Thanksgiving. Yeah, and everybody here at that. So yeah, understandable. But no, that's what's up. I feel like Broadway, like theater, I feel like that's one of the truest like appreciations of art you can have. I don't know how to make that make more sense if it don't make sense, but like it's a very pure art form, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely an appreciation for that. And the Wiz is, I think, fire on uh in any platform, in any layout, film, theater, whatever. But that's what's up. That's dope.
Yeah,
Uh,
we when they sang, because it's Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion, right?
yes.
In all of the adaptations and iterations of the Wiz, I've always seen a brown skin or a dark skinned Dorothy. And this is the first time that I saw a light skinned, fair skinned Dorothy, right?
Mm.
She had the same wig on I do right now, right? She had a little Tyler Perry mic right here. But at one point at the end, she was singing, and Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion were all up there with her singing. And I was like, okay, City High. They looked exactly like City High. She was definitely giving Claudette Ortiz. And shout out to those who know City High, right? What would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry? Okay, that's what the Wiz was last night, and I was here for all of it.
I'm weak. Nah, that's what's up. Yeah. Chicago does have everything to do. I try to throw my monthly just kind of, voter recognition in there, but nah, I don't be wanting no smoke, man. It don't take much for y'all. It don't take much for y'all to have smoke with outsiders. So I try to make sure to keep the peace. But yes, we do not have much new to talk about per se. But how was your week overall? I know where things stood a couple days ago, but do we feel like we wrapping up on a good note?
I didn't know that I had Good Friday off. So when everybody was sending messages on Thursday saying, have a great long weekend, one of my teammates' birthday was Thursday, so I knew she was taking off. So when we sent the birthday message, like, oh, have a good long weekend, I'm thinking they telling that to her because it's her birthday and she took off. And everybody was like, oh, yeah, you too, you too. And I was like, you too? I said, what's going on? I said, I know it's been a long week for me, but like, did I miss something? I sent my manager a message. I was like, hey, do we not work tomorrow? And she's like, no, we're off. I was like, oh, the joy
Yeah.
that just like erupted in my soul. The fact that I did not have to be anywhere, like that was great. So my week was rough, but knowing that it ended on a long weekend and a freebie of a day for Good Friday, that I mean, who knew it was even April? I didn't. Um, that completely changed things because I get so sad knowing that the next day is Sunday, like if it's
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And I felt like that most of yesterday. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. We got a long weekend. So yeah, that was a nice little surprise. So I say my week ended better than it started. What about you?
I would say the same for real. Dang, what was I about to say? It was something I was about to say to the very last thing that you said. Oh, that is why I also, that's another vote for why 3 day weekends should just exist across the board. I don't care if it's getting Friday off. I don't care if it's getting Monday off. That third day of not having to do anything, like at least work, crucial. But no, my week was a lot of the same as well. I feel like it started out optimistic, and then like the middle of the week was kind of like, yeah, this seemed like some bullshit here. And then the end of the week was cool. Something I appreciate that we do at work is we meet twice a week. So our Friday meetings, we try to make like our fun meetings. So like everybody get a day, and it's like it could be some type of like team development, but it's like usually team bonding or like a fun activity. So what we did yesterday was my supervisor's birthday is April 1st. So we kind of like celebrated that again, but adult Legos. I did not think I would be excited to put
Okay.
together some Lego plants. Doing my lunch hour at work. But for whatever reason, it just I don't know, it just kind of made the day light, made the day fun. But also, I got into work early, not necessarily because I wanted to, more so because I had to, because I had a surgery appointment at 9:40. Uh, my haircut. So
Oh, I'm like, I just asked you about your damn knees. Okay, look, I spent a lot of time at the hospital this week. You can't just drop that you had surgery too. I'm like, now what the heck?
that's
Okay, haircut. Okay, that's
That's a
that's
fair point. That's a fair point. My bad. That's the April energy. Trying
okay.
to make sure that's past us now. My
Okay.
fault. I do understand. But yeah, so I had my haircut appointment. And then came back right to that meeting where we did like the Legos and stuff like that. So it was just like a real light day, and it was a Friday, so like it wasn't off. But hey,
Mm.
this is a good way. This is a good note to end off on. But I also think my week was really interesting because I was talking with a homie of mine, real good homie. It's the wedding that I have in July. And so was talking to him, and we was just rapping about some things, catching up on life and stuff like that. And he kind of posed something to me as we were talking, and it was basically under the guise of like when communicating, sometimes like our main goal is to be understood, or we focus on being misunderstood and we get hung up on that. And that affects like the effectiveness of the conversation we having, because that don't have to be the priority if it's about just like the understanding with whoever. It could be like a partner, it could be friends, whatever the case may be. And I just thought that was really interesting because I really do get hung up on being misunderstood. Like that something about it bothers me. I don't know what exactly. And And I'm not sure if that's a thing for you. My assumption is that, okay, I don't know. I'm not sure how it presents, but how does that present for you? Because I know for me, I don't know what it is. Like, I know that it's not personal, like, and I know that people are human, but something about being misunderstood just, I don't know why it rubbed me the wrong way, but it do. But how does it present for you?
Oh, it rubs me the wrong way, 100%. It's like taking a cheese grater to my arm. Like I hate being misunderstood. Not only because I mean I'm not perfect, right? But I work very hard and intentionally to always be clear with everything that I do, especially the things that I say, right? So 9 times out of 10, my word choice is on purpose. So I am saying things to make sure that you understand me. I am doing these things to make sure that everybody can be on the same page. So it's fine that you ask clarifying questions, but if you come back and be like, nah, that's not what I got. Like, where did we go wrong? Because I laid out a foolproof plan for you to, understand. So I hate being misunderstood because I feel like I do so much pre-work for you not to misunderstand me. And I don't like my pet peeve is I hate my time wasted. So when you don't understand me for something that I believe should be clear, I'm like, oh, let me spin the block. This is what we have to do. This is what I was saying. Like that just it's irritating.
That is hilarious. And I'm chuckling because I'm the exact same way. And it's funny because like you said, it's not about the fact that like because for me, I feel like a lot of people, or what I've heard sometimes in like some relationships, is like that I want things to be my way or that I'm stubborn.
Hmm.
I can be stubborn. I'm not saying that I can't be. However, it's not that I want things my own way, but the pre-work part, it's like I know that I have thought about this. I know that I have worked this out a multitude of ways. So by the time I'm presenting something, like it's foolproof in my mind for the most part. It's foolproof as it can be. So it's more, and it's not so much like it has to be this way, but if we're planning or making whatever the plan is, let's figure it out and let's get to it. Like like at this point, it's time to go. And so, but I sometimes I think the pre-work aspect can be misunderstood. And so I guess literally to the point, it's like if it's been explained and then it doesn't seem clear,
Hmm.
excuse my French, but what the fuck? Like now I'm like, what was missed? Where were we at? And it's not in this. I feel like that comes off malicious, and I feel like thinking of Leo and thinking of Capricorn in different ways. I feel like it gets interpreted with that connotation. You know what I mean? But it's like, nah, it ain't that. It's just like we were here, and I thought from
Hmm.
here we had an understanding. We don't seem to have that understanding now, but I know I'm prepared for this understanding. So what we doing? So, but that pre-work is that pre-work aspect is a that's the thing for me. That's the one.
Yeah, because I would almost rather you not listen to me than you misunderstand me.
Truly.
Because at least I know it's you. Like, if you're
That's
not
literally what
listening,
it is.
you chose to not listen. You chose one ear out the other, right? But if you misunderstand me, there's a possibility that it is my fault. And I know that it's not because I almost always end every conversation with, does that make sense? Or are we good? Do you have any questions?
Yes.
One of those three is cycled into my life. So if you give me the clearance to say, we good, I heard you, I understand, and then you go and misunderstand me, oh, I'm gonna turn into Red Hulk. Like, what do you mean?
Look, no, literally that. And so it's funny that it aligns that closely for us. Not surprising, but funny for sure. But yeah, no, that's interesting. But that was something that stood out. But also I can't lie and say that talking to this particular homie, someone who was engaged and about to be married, there's definitely feels like a difference in intentionality, yes, but like I think just I can't think of the word, but it's we're able to have conversations that just feel like they have meaning. Like anytime we talk, it's always like kind of with a purpose, if you will. And I appreciate that. Like we've had a multitude of conversations about friendships and the different ways those can be managed or just maneuvering, how they evolve and things like that. So definitely find myself being appreciative and grateful of recognizing those relationships that have that kind of, I don't know why I can't think of that word, but like just a certain rapport to them, I guess, if you will. But yeah, that's probably the highlight of my week, that conversation and kind of what that kind of ended up being. So that was cool too.
That's real.
What made you chuckle?
Sorry, the dog off camera, the dog was in the hallway, just minding his own business. And he saw his chew toy in here, and homeboy ran in here, looked like he was getting ready to tackle me. And I was like, what the hell? And then he just ran up and started chewing on the toy. So it threw me off.
I'm oh,
And I'm not used to having a dog around while I'm recording. So yeah, it
it's a
was like
thing. No, it's a thing. Very real. We definitely have to talk about this one day because I want to talk about Callie, Bear, Pierre, and Beta. I feel like the conversation go a multitude of ways, but I also think it would be hilarious.
okay. We'll put
Yeah,
that out there.
yeah, I digress. I digress. But for what we are going to talk about today, one of the more popular shows, I think, definitely that's out currently, but I kind of feel like it's already building somewhat of a legacy, and with it not being one of those shows that's expected to be a like 8, 9 season type of thing, I think it being seen as kind of like this mini series, almost like extended mini series will be to its benefit. But the show I'm talking about is Paradise, and they just wrapped up their season 2 finale. At the time of this recording, would have been a week ago.
Mhm.
And I think you got people confused, but I think you got people excited, and I think you got people deciding whether they're gonna hop on the Paradise train or not. But have you been a fan since the first season, or are you like a season 2 joining fan?
No, I was a fan since season one. And I appreciate that we are also getting like real TV back. We
Yes.
got, I mean, yeah, the 8 episode season. Sterling K. Brown actually, I don't know if you've seen, but he posted kind of an explanation around why shows have just these 8 episodes and not, 18, 20 per episode. Like the network doesn't necessarily get more money from longer seasons. I'm paraphrasing, but he was explaining like for these streaming platforms, it's built around advertisements, and subscribers. So if you have a longer season, yeah, you might have some advertisements in there, but you're not getting new people to join. So the more that they can show a new show or something that's new and like get more people to join, they'll do that. And go with these shorter seasons, which I'm fine with because shout out to Paradise, shout out to Abbott, shout out to a couple other shows that are consistently putting out seasons like as they would on typical television or what we grew up with, right?
Yeah, yeah,
This next season of the year, you get a whole new set of episodes. Like that's what we was looking for. Every fall, we was waiting for a show to drop. But yeah, I've been a paradiser, I guess. I don't know what they call them. I've been a paradiser since season one.
yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Bunker Buddy for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
That's hilarious. But no, but yeah, no, I have as well. But honestly, I think the biggest compliment to the show for me is I think this switch was very not switch, but the pivot from season 1 to season 2 was very unexpected, but very welcomed. Like I don't know if anybody expected it to turn into the sci-fi realm when it seemed like a political thriller in season 1. But I mean, just speaks to the versatility of the show. But I think that's also a huge draw in because now people could come in to season 2, and if you watch season 2 by itself in a weird, like you could follow and like you would get enough context through flashbacks and maybe like a summary of season 1 to still enjoy season 2. But I
Mhm.
think it just shows that it's also one of those shows where nah, like actually you got to go back to see how everything builds to also understand how impressive the pivot is, in my opinion. But that also is the case when you have a lot of good actors together. And I think obviously Sterling K. Brown is a standout, but a lot of the cast in a lot of different ways have really, to me, played their roles really well. So big fan. But yeah, how you feeling about season 2? What are your thoughts on that season in particular?
So I'm not gonna hold you. I am a Sterling K. Brown fan. I am a Paradise fan. However, it started to lose me for a second because I'm like, am I just not paying attention, or is something happening that I'm not aware of? I did not expect the like sci-fi part of what this was. So as they started to slowly introduce it, that one episode, there's a part in the finale, like maybe the first quarter of it. It got mad corny for me. The acting, I'm not gonna hold you, the acting got a little bad. The one that they call Great Value Viola Davis, her like I got injured scene was a bit rough for me to watch. Since they said it, I can't unsee it. If Viola Davis and Lupita had an actor love child, it would be this woman, and I believe she will have an amazing career. But you let the internet speak, and I'm a giggle. But
Yeah.
yeah, right. So like her like, oh, leave me behind. Oh, like that. It just got a little corny. And then when the shit started blowing up in the boiler room, like it felt like fake Star Trek, and I was like, I'm missing something here. And then it got back on track for me. And I was like, oh, okay. But I really do like season two. And I love when shows do the flashbacks and the restarts from time so you can see these multiple perspectives. So it's well done. You know, that would be my only like poke in the story. But yeah, I like where this is going because now we'll get to see what life looks like outside the bunker.
Yeah. That's a fair critique because I think, and it also depends on if and how you critique TV. Like, some people can genuinely just watch and they're not really watching for, or they're not invested enough to care about the small things. Or it's just perspective. Like some people just don't have that critical of a lens. They have more of a appreciative lens. So it may not be that they don't notice that, but it might just be for them, it didn't matter because I'm just appreciating, what I enjoyed or what I liked or whatever. But I do think that's a fair critique. But I also think it's interesting how the show seems to, I mean, maybe that's more of the calendar year 2026, but the show seems to be reflecting the actual world right now, even down to Alex AI Jones. Like what I mean? Like even down to that aspect of the show being introduced and that being the setup essentially for the next season. It's kind of like, okay, like because now we're not watching something that feels out of the realm of like reality and possibility. So that's also a very intriguing watch because it's kind of like you're watching. Do you remember that Black Mirror episode where like th- it was a woman going through the day, but like she was being watched, and it was like that. Oh, if y'all watch Black Mirror, maybe y'all figuring out the episode I'm talking about. Selma Hayek is in it, but nonetheless, it's like this repeat of like something that's happening on TV is what happens in like somebody's like real life kind of deal. One of those situations. That's what Paradise is starting to feel like from season two and what it seems like season three is going to be about. But I'm here for it. And your real, like back to real TV point, I think is probably the main thing for me too, because there's a lot of shows that are falling into that category. Like Abbott is another one, like you mentioned. But even some newer shows, like I randomly started watching Rooster. It's on HBO Max. It's with Steve Carroll. Are you a Steve Carroll fan?
40-year-old virgin,
Yes,
Steve Carell. And yes.
it's definitely Carell.
Mhm.
But Steve Carell, yes. So does the awkward humor, like, are you a fan of that, or have you just come to just know like that's his like acting chops or whatever?
I mean, I think that's his acting chops, even when he's outside of traditional like comedic roles. But yeah, I like that. Also, I am that. Like, let's be real. Yeah, no. So I like his projects. I did not watch The Office like everybody else did, but the episodes that I did see, I liked it. He had that one show where he was like dark Steve Carell, where he was like a therapist or a serial killer or something. Or maybe it's called The Therapist. I'm not sure, but somebody's like locked in a room I think I don't know. I'm a butcher it, but I watched a couple episodes of that, and that was really good. And it felt like a pivot from what we know him to be. But yeah, I'm a Steve Carell fan. I haven't heard of Rooster though, so I have to check it out.
Yeah, it's fairly new. They only it's only been 4 episodes so far. I think it drops on like Sunday evenings at some point in time. But another example of a sitcom like show, because Rooster would be like a sitcom in my opinion. Um, can a sitcom not have a live audience?
Yeah, a
Okay,
sitcom, situational comedy. Sometimes it's just laugh track, but
okay,
I
fair.
believe that's what sitcom is abbreviated for.
Okay. Um, because like obviously it has humor and things like that, but you don't have a live audience. So like you might be laughing or like so, anyway, point is another show that falls into that category is The Rise and Fall of Reggie Dinkins. It's the new Tracy Morgan show. It comes out on Peacock. So I'm not I guess it's showing on NBC weekly, but it's about like 6 or 7 episodes into that, but that is surprisingly good. Erica Alexander is in it as well, and
I
see,
heard.
and seeing her in that space again is like interesting because obviously it's not like living single, but back in that kind of showing off the comedy shop space has been cool too. But yeah, that idea of like real TV, like just the TV that makes you anticipate, like binging is great. Like I'm a binge warrior. Don't get me wrong. I love a good binge. Give me a show that I can get through in a day. I'll do it. But I do think that anticipation aspect of having to wait week to week or even having to wait season to season for new seasons of the show, I just think it's good for the viewer in general. Do you think you have a preference?
Of when shows drop.
Yes, like do you prefer to binge versus knowing you have to wait a week? Or do you even prefer like if a season drops seasonally but kind of like drops all the episodes at once, but it still like drops seasonally. So like you might get it fall, but the whole season drops in the fall type deal.
Yeah, I mean, I like the anticipation of weekly drops. So even like with Traders, right? The Traders show, if you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about.
Trailer.
Traders, reality TV. Um,
What's the premise? I feel like I've heard of it, but I
if
don't
you
have seen it at all.
if you've played a game called Mafia or Werewolf,
Mhm.
that's the premise where there's a group of players and you secretly chosen as a traitor.
It's like is traders an abbreviation of the full thing? Like, is it a longer name or is it just traders?
No, the traders.
Oh, the okay. Boyd watches it, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, I know of the show, but
Yeah. So you have these people secretly chosen as traitors, and it's basically a game of who done it. So each round you murder somebody off, and then the people that are not traitors are faithfuls, and the faithful, assuming everybody is a faithful, has to come together to figure out who a traitor is and vote them off. And the goal is to get all the traitors out, so whatever faithfuls are left at the end win and split the money. But if a traitor makes it to the end undetected, then they get all the money. But that is a show also on Peacock, Traders US. They got different country iterations, but that is dropped weekly as well. Now, early on, they dropped like the first 3 episodes at once, which I don't mind. Like do a bulk drop and then one weekly after that. I'm into that. I don't mind the binge, but we are oversaturated
it's a great.
with television. Even just if you just look at one app,
Yeah,
you look at one platform, every show ever made is on there and it's just too much. And then you have Peacock, Apple TV, HBO Max, Tubi, Netflix,
yeah.
Hulu, Disney Plus. It's too much. So if you drop all shows at once, for me, I might start to watch it and then like, okay, I can't binge 13 episodes in a day, so then I need to come back. But I'm like, oh wait, I was watching this other show. So I like being able to have multiple shows in rotation at the same time.
Yeah.
But really, I'm fine with either one as long as we do not wait 2 years for the next season. Like the Avatar, for example, if you watch it or if people have watched it, Avatar, Last Airbender. It was cool. We had the cartoon version, and boom, they dropped the live action version. And Aang is supposed to be a child. It was I don't know how long between season one and season two, but his ass is like a junior in high school. Like he's far too old to still be where he was coming off of that. So like when you do things like that with live action,
Mm,
it messes things up a bit. Like you've waited too long. So crank them out, drop them. Let me see what's going on. And to your point earlier, it also helps with the writing of it being relevant. Like Paradise, we seeing this in real time because it feels somehow weirdly parallel to the reality TV show that is America. You get Abbott Elementary, it feels current with the times of not just like what's going on in the world in terms of education, but like the jokes and things. Like they're writing in real time so much so that they have these special guests on, like from the Eagles, right? It's not like, oh, we've got some star from a football team that won some game some time ago. Like, no, this is currently happening. They were filming at a baseball game. Like you feel it feels fresh in a way that binging TV doesn't allow. So I'm fine with either as long as we don't have to wait a lifetime for season two.
yeah, nah, that's a really good point. Lastly, on the TV tip, so is Game of Thrones like are shows like that the exception where when it's a 2 year wait between seasons, but I guess you consider everything that goes into production, is that the exception for you, or are you still mad about that? Or just mad about that in general?
I'm a late adopter of Game of Thrones.
Yes, this
Game
is
of
true.
Thrones did 8 seasons. I was not aware of Game of Thrones until after season seven ended. So I binged one through
Right.
seven up until maybe like 2 weeks before eight dropped. So I don't know what time that was, but I will tell you, House of the Dragon
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
lost it for me. I
Okay.
was very much into it coming off the heels of Game of Thrones. I was like, I'm all in. Jesse and I was watching weekly, however it was dropping. And then they was like, but wait, there's more. 6 years later, you'll get season two. I started watching season two and I was like, I don't even know what happened before, so I don't care. So my window, I lost interest.
Nah, that's real. Cause I'm like, cause Game of Thrones didn't have a gap until I think between maybe 7 and 8, or maybe it was 6 and 7 was the first time it didn't like come out on the regular season cycle that it was when it started. But yeah, but no, I think, I think sometimes it makes sense. Like the strike, I think played a large role in a lot of things getting pushed back and even changing the timing of releases to some degree as well. So that could be a part of it. But yeah, no, that's real. But I do love me some good TV. And I love finding new shows because like you said, it is oversaturated, but it is a lot of good stuff out there that isn't just on the major platforms as well. So in a way, if you like getting around the apps and everything, it's stuff out there.
Because, and something can be said for the longevity of shows. Like we want shows to go on forever, and then when they do, we complain about it, right?
Yeah.
We love Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy just got renewed for, I believe, season 23, and they like, damn, that y'all blew up the hospital 3 times. Like there have been plane crashes. Like what else is there? But I saw it from a different perspective. Like Paradise, I don't think should be 23 seasons. I think it's just a 3 season deal, which is nice because it's fresh. You can move on and cool. You don't need to like belabor a point like The Walking Dead. But with Grey's Anatomy, somebody posted the other day and said, we complain about it being 23 seasons, but I'm going to always support because they are employing so many actors, producers, everybody, whatever, and locally in, I believe, LA. So, that's job security in a way that a lot of these shows don't get. Like some people will get picked up for a show and say, "Oh yeah, you'll be casted in this," and then they don't make it past the pilot, or the pilot never even airs, right? So, if the show is on, I'm gonna support it. We would love to see Scandal back for longer, but like,
Yeah.
let's look at this in real time. The president only has a 4 year term,
Yeah.
a 2 term max. So if we do that season to season, we're maybe looking at 8 seasons. Um, you could even do a 9 or a 10 if there was like a prequel season or, a flash forward season or something like that. But these things need to be realistic. Yellow Jackets, if you watch it, they got stranded out in the middle of nowhere and just cannibalized each other. We don't need to see that for 9 seasons, right? Did they survive? Did they make it back to Jersey or wherever they were from? If they didn't, just cancel the show. Like, it's fine. So we don't need to hold on to things. We need to let things go.
No, that's real. It only applies to particular shows. And, medicine will always be relevant. So, like, they can come up with something for as many seasons as they want to.
Hmm.
Because I'm the same. I'm going to watch Grays every week. I'm going to come back every
Hmm.
season. And if y'all going to take some people away, we get it. We used to it by now. But they also introduce us to a lot of new characters. I was watching the last episode last night.
I
Now,
got to catch up. I'm a season behind. I did a binge as
yeah,
a new watcher of Grey's in 11 months. I did 20 seasons in 11 months or 21 seasons in 11 months, something like that.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I'm a resident now. I'll be saving lives in Chicago, but
yeah.
I had to take a break from the hospital. I had to go on a sabbatical, but clearly those don't work for me. So,
Okay. Nah, that's real. But yeah, I'll be there for season 23 as well. And I'll take the crumbs of all the old characters we can get. Uh but yeah, as we check out how we feeling about I don't know, maybe we talked about this on Thursday. I feel like we did kind of sort of. How we feeling about April? I know we talked about the first quarter, but I don't know if I asked specifically about April or not.
Um, you know, April 1st is April Fool's Day. I feel like the year that we are living in, this is going to be April Fool's month. So, how do I feel about April? I'm bracing myself for it and I'm gonna see what happens because I do feel like we are living in a parallel of paradise. And ironically, I wonder if that went into naming it, right? That they created this false sense of paradise and we saw in season 2 it crumbled, quite literally crumbled. So, welcome to April Fool's month.
I'm so weak because they just made me think of Abbott. The most recent episode was about April Fool's Day. I'm not sure if you saw it, but but I think Serious Day is hilarious. Very doable, very applicable, but was extremely funny. Yeah, so when you say April Fool's Day, that immediately made me think of that because I started thinking about how he was trying to replace April Fool's Day at first, like April Cool's Day, like I don't know, April Booze Day,
Hmm.
right? Just drinking booze all day, someday in April. I digress. It's pretty irrelevant. As you can see, we're just trying to experience this paradise for as long as we can. And until then, and until the next episode, we will catch y'all next time. Peace.